Beavemanites and Docutrons, assemble!
Okay, so back in the day, I was way above the wave, man. I traded in the girls for the video games. I played so much Super Smash Bros. Other kids called me names.
He must have did it like 10 times before. I was like, dude, can you not sip your coffee like that? And he was like, oh.
How about those fucking assholes who were playing dice when we were at the restaurant?
Maybe we should talk about annoying people.
We're talking about annoying people.
Yeah.
This is one of the last episodes of Beaveman in the Dock. Not because I'm going away. And this is the Beaveman, by the way. All my Beavemanite fans out there. Shout out to Mountain View, California. I love you guys.
I don't even know where Mountain View, California
It's not
is.
Mountain Dew, California. It's Mountain View.
It's not the Mountain Dew.
It's not the Mountain. It's also one of
definitely
my
not
favorite
the Mountain
phrases. It's
Dew.
definitely not the Mountain Dew. For those of you out there who are struggling with your weight, maybe you've got some sort of autoimmune disorder, maybe you've got some sort of inflammatory arthritis or arthropathy,
Or
maybe you just don't feel that
fibromyalgia.
well. Maybe you don't feel that well all the time. Just a little hint to you from the Beaveman. Stop drinking Mountain Dew.
It's not the Mountain Dew.
Anyway. Did you happen to hear, did you catch any of the last podcasts that I've been doing with the Rons?
Yes.
What do you think about the Rons?
I like the Rons. I think he does a great job.
Or what do you think about the nickname, the Rons? He doesn't like it. He's not a fan.
I think until something better comes up, it's pretty good. I mean, I
don't
think
have a
it
problem
fits
with
him pretty well.
I think it does too. Well, I mean, he's not like
He's
the
not-
Fonz.
Right.
Definitely not. But speaking of which, apparently the Rons is looking into building the website. So as soon as the website is done, then we will launch the podcast. I think this is going to be one of the last. I'm going to say this is the next to the last podcast under the old format. Soon to launch. We've got the music now. I think that I've decided that I'm cool with it. I don't know
You have
yet.
the name, but you haven't told anybody yet, have you?
No, I'm not telling anybody because I don't want anybody to steal it.
I know it.
I don't want anybody to come along and just all of a sudden steal the name, because if they do, I'm going to be fucking very angry because I worked really hard on it. It came to me like an epiphany, and I have to say it's brilliant, personally. I mean, I don't want to be too humble. It's a good name. I like it.
I think it fits pretty well.
But nobody asked your opinion, but it's good that your opinion is positive.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. We were going to talk about annoying people.
Annoying people. Yes.
Is there anything that I do that annoys you?
Yes.
Like what?
I don't... No, let's start with that, though. That's not you. This brought about a subject that I was at work, and I was working in my little room at work. Not in Detroit, everyone. Not in Detroit. And I'm working on my computer, and behind me sits the IT guy working on the computer, and all of a sudden I hear him...
he's not always there.
He's not always there. He's there to fix something. So, I'm like, it's cool. He doesn't talk much. He's kind of antisocial, but that's fine. So he sits down, starts doing his little thing. I hear the little clickety-clackety-clack of the keyboard, working on stuff, and then all of a sudden I hear this. And I'm like, what the heck? Turn around and look, and he's got a cup of coffee with the lid on it. So I was like, all right, cool. Maybe he's testing it out. Might see it if it's too hot. Sipping it, first sip. So, I mean, you've ever taken a cup of coffee and you get a scorching tongue or the roof
Like
of
from
your
McDonald's.
mouth. Right, exactly. So I'm like, that's cool. Go about my business, make a phone call, and all of a sudden I'm on the phone and I hear, I'm like, what the heck? Second time. Okay. That must just be how he drinks his coffee. Because about the 10th time he did it, I turned around and I was like, oh my God, can you stop sipping your coffee like that? And he was startled and didn't even realize he did it. Didn't even know that that's how he drinks his coffee.
What did he say, though?
He didn't even know he did it. He was like, oh my God. Like I don't know. Like,
You're drinking your coffee like a goat.
Yeah, pretty much. It was terrible. But I don't know. Maybe he stopped drinking his coffee like that. He finished up the job really quick, though.
Yeah, as I've gotten older, I can't stand to hear people eat. Like, specifically you. I can't stand to hear you eat.
I'm sorry. If I'm eating and you're
But it's
eating,
not just
it's
me.
okay.
The daughter says the same thing. She's like,
My
I can't
jaw
stand to hear it.
clicks. I'm sorry.
Not even that. When you eat, it sounds like Gollum from The Lord of the Rings. He's like,
That's just when I eat grapefruit.
like when you eat a grapefruit. Oh, it's so disgusting.
Does that annoy you?
And then you
I
like rip it
dissect
apart.
it.
You're like, and then you're like, it's so
It's
disgusting.
not very nice.
It's so fucking disgusting that I have to leave the room.
It's not nice.
Well, it's gross. It's just horrible. It's terrible. I don't know. I think this is why old people are such assholes.
Maybe.
Because they've realized that they've had this high tolerance. Maybe they didn't notice so many things. Maybe as you lose your senses, other senses maybe become heightened. Like your sense of bullshit gets heightened. So things just start to annoy you more, and maybe that's why old people are such assholes to us.
Maybe. Yeah. That could be. Yeah, I guess. So, annoying other things?
Yeah, so what do I do that's annoying to you, that you find annoying?
A lot of things.
Like what?
You criticize a lot.
No, I don't.
No, you do. And then you do it so much that you don't really know whether you're joking or you're not joking sometimes. And you're like, oh my God, that's fucking mean. And you're like, I was just kidding. I'm like, but were you really just kidding?
Like about the whole eating thing that I just did right now?
Right.
No, I wasn't kidding. That is disgusting. That I was not kidding about. That is really disgusting.
Sorry. I don't eat grapefruits at home anymore, if that makes sense.
I only eat grapefruits away from the home.
Yes, I only eat grapefruits at work. So, okay, what do you think is annoying?
What do I think is annoying?
Yeah.
Lots of things. How about this? Yesterday, speaking of coffee, did I say anything about coffee?
No.
Hot cup of coffee.
Well, I said
You
stuff
said something
about
about
coffee because we're sipping coffee.
Why is it, if you go to a coffee place, why are the baristas or whoever sits behind the counter, depending on where you go, why are they snobby?
Not all of them are snobby.
No, but there's a lot of them that are, though.
They think they know everything about coffee, and that makes them experts.
But most of
Coffee
them don't
experts.
drink coffee.
Right.
Most of them have never even tasted actual coffee. Most of them drink this flavored stuff that tastes like a melted milkshake that they warmed up.
Yeah.
I went to one yesterday. They had all these options on there, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Let me treat myself because I've been sick for the past few days. Let me treat myself. Let me get me something that's, for some reason, when I'm sick, I only want to eat bad things. And I think you must know this. That's why you bought me chocolate.
Right.
Because I'm like, when I'm sick, that's what I eat. I eat crap when I'm sick. I don't know why. I think that
Because it's the only thing you can taste.
well, it's the evil virus or whatever that's living inside you demands.
Chocolate and bad food.
Well, it's so used to me. Maybe that's how I kill it, by giving it bad food. I don't know. Maybe
That
that's
seems
what it
like
is.
the opposite. It would just
I don't know.
make
Maybe that's what it is.
stronger.
I don't know.
I think maybe it's just because you can only taste that stuff. It's more sugary and more greasy or bad food that is salty and you taste it better.
I don't usually go for the grease. It's usually
Chocolate.
I want
and
pudding
junk
or
food.
I want chocolate pudding and whipped cream or what. I don't know. Anyway, so I said, well, let me treat myself. I feel better now, but I would like some caffeine. So I get this salted toffee whatever thing, right? And it was no hello, how are you, anything like that. It was just like, yeah, what do you want? I order. It's at the end of the counter. No, that's when we'll be ready. I'm like, where's the customer service here?
They don't have to. They know you're going to pay $7 for that cup of coffee.
Yeah, but why act like all snobby?
I don't
Again,
know.
none of them have.
Were they young?
Most of the and
They
most
have
of
no
them,
social skills.
and they don't even know what coffee tastes like. I fully guarantee you that none of them have ever had a black coffee.
Oh, probably not. Unless they're like the hipster ones that just drink that because it's cool.
And most of them don't, though.
No.
Most of them have not ever had just a regular Folgers brewed cup of coffee
Right.
from a percolator, no less. Do you remember the percolators?
Yes.
They were actually really cool. I think they should bring those back just because they were cool. Just to watch the little percolating thing at the top.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet. If you don't know what I'm talking about, man, check it out on YouTube. There's got to be percolator videos. Remember the old Folgers cup? Were like, or was that Mr. Coffee?
I don't know. No. I vaguely remember that.
Too young, I guess.
Don't make a sound when you sip that.
I didn't. What I found was annoying was not only that, but my coffee was warm.
Not hot.
It was not hot. And I think that they do it because people want to drink their coffee right away.
Yeah.
But I want my coffee to be hot, not warm.
Well, if you would have got a brewed coffee from there, it's scalding hot because I've gotten a plain brewed coffee from there and it's scalding hot and you can't drink it for like 20 minutes.
Well, this was not scalding hot, nor was it hot. It was
Warm chocolate milk.
kind of like, kind of like that. Kind of like been sitting on the dash in your car for a few minutes in the summertime.
Right.
Not great. So too sweet, not great.
So sickeningly sweet that you diluted it with regular coffee, split it in half, and had a full cup between the two of us, and it was still too sweet.
And I didn't even drink all of it.
Yeah. It was pretty dang sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty. Oh, what else? What else annoys you, Swan?
People with a lack of work ethic.
That's a common phenomenon.
It is.
Do you think it's a lack of work ethic, or you have a good work ethic?
I think I have a good work ethic, but I don't know. I feel like if you call in at least once every other week or once a week or sometimes more than once a week, you don't have a very good work ethic. Or if you just show up and you don't do your job, same thing.
I think that's but the government, it fosters that kind of an attitude. Government employees.
Do you think it's like that everywhere, though?
Yeah, the government, sure, of course
and
I
not
do.
the government, though. Outside the government.
No,
there's
because
been
you
some
can't
freaking
do that.
lazy people
No, because you can't
outside.
do that outside of the government and still have a job. We don't get 16 sick days a year and all that other shit that the government gets. We don't get every government holiday off like the government does.
Right.
The only way that you can take off, if you work for a factory, for example, if I have to take you off for the flu, I'm taking you off for 5 days. I tell everybody that.
Oh, here's a rant. We should rant on this for a while.
Well, we'll rant on this, but here's the deal. If you get diagnosed with the flu, you came in, you're like, boom, doc, I got hit with these symptoms yesterday. I've got a high fever. I got all these other things. I do a flu swab. You come back positive for the flu, and I say, okay, I'm taking you off work for the next 5 days minimum. Because here's the rule. Here's the rule that we go by. You have to be free of a fever for 24 hours without the use of medication before you should be out in the general public in order for us to hopefully keep you from spreading the flu to other people.
Right.
Okay. So 5 days is the amount of days that the standard antiviral medication is given to you. Tamiflu or oseltamivir or any of the other ones. This is the one that we use right now. 5 days. Employers won't necessarily let those people off for 5 days without putting them on FMLA. And so then you have to fill out FMLA paperwork. Now, that's not all employers, but it's a good percentage of the employers. So when you have that, there's employees who don't want to take the time off because they're afraid they're going to be fired, even though they're doing what they're supposed to do to prevent the spread of the flu. It's not like anybody who has the flu and who's diagnosed with the flu is like, yeah, I get 5 vacation days. That's not what it's like.
No, you feel like hell for 5 days, but you're going to drag your sick self into work and spread it around with everybody else because you can't be off without, number one, worrying about getting fired, or number two, worrying about not getting paid for those days. Do you think it's because of both? I think it's because of both that they don't take it off, but more so worried about getting fired or punished for being off.
Well, and it's not like people run to the doctor right away anyway. And when people come in, one of the questions I ask is, well, have you been around other people who've been sick? And everybody's like, well, everybody at work is sick. I'm like, okay, yeah, everybody at work is sick. I understand what you're saying because nobody comes to the doctor. But it used to be, when I first started as a nurse practitioner 11 some years ago, that when, coincidentally, that was also the year of that we were supposed to have the great pandemic of the 100-year anniversary of the super flu, if you will. And what we were telling people and what we used to tell people was if you have symptoms of the flu, don't go to the doctor.
Right.
You're bringing that virus into a doctor's office where people are already there because they have chronic medical conditions or are they're sick or whatever. Or you're going to a family practice office that also has children and you're going to spread that to other people. And so we didn't tell people to come to the doctor to get diagnosed with the flu so that we could take you off work and put you on an antiviral. But somehow along the way, that became the thing to do. And now everybody comes when they're sick. So instead of having a safe place, which is your doctor's office, where you're supposed to go and get treatment for your chronic conditions and your wellness, everybody's sick.
Well, they have that one side of the office that's for sick people.
Oh, yeah, that really keeps the spread of the flu down, because you split the office in half, and one side is for sick and one side is for
Yeah, and you know the sick people don't sit on that side. Because they're like,
no,
I don't want to get
TV.
sick. And you can't, right, and it can't see
They don't want to
you.
get sicker. They don't want to get sicker. And they don't want to wear a mask either, even though you got masks out front.
Or they wear the mask and they have their freaking nose hanging out of it. How often do you see that one? I see that all the time. I'm like, why is your nose out of it?
Well, so they can breathe.
You're serious? No, but if you are sick, my work, more than 2 days, you need a doctor's note. Or you get in trouble. Well,
which again is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because if you're sick,
stay home.
stay home. Why do I want you to come to my office? And I don't want you to make the other patient sick, but I definitely don't want you to make me sick.
Right.
Because if you make me sick, then one of two things happens. Either I get sick and I can't come to work, or I get sick and I have to go to work.
Right.
Which is usually what happens. If I get sick, I'm only lucky if I get sick and it happens to be the days that I'm off.
Which totally makes it enjoyable to be off when you're sick the whole time.
But I'd rather be sick on the days that I'm off than sick on the days that I work.
Right, yeah.
Because I can't, it's not like I can, it's the same. The only time I think that I've worked in the medical field where it would have been acceptable for me to be sick was when I was a nurse aide. Because as an RN, it's the same thing. You do shift work.
Right.
So it's like, what are the chances of me finding somebody that can cover for me
Right.
to work? If I call in, then they're going to be short. And I don't want that to happen. Because I don't want that to happen to me when I have to work. But you can almost never, if you're lucky, you get somebody who can cover you, but it almost never happens. So for the past, I guess, 18 years, there really hasn't been the time where you could just say, oh, well, it's acceptable for me to call in to be sick.
Yeah. But do you think other people think like that, or you think that's just how we think? Because I know a lot of people who just call in whenever they feel like it.
Well, I mean, if they don't have that sense of, I think it would be kind of nice to work at a job where you didn't have to worry if you called in sick. Really?
Yeah, well, what kind of job is that?
I don't know.
That's what I'm asking.
I don't know.
Because I feel like, oh, well, I have to find someone to replace me. If I don't, then everybody scheduled that day gets rescheduled, and that's not convenient or fair to those people. Or me when they get rescheduled in my clinic.
Well, I think that it's also wrong for us to go to work.
Right.
Because we're looking, it's this mindset that it's this poor mindset on ours also. If I'm sick, I shouldn't be going to work.
Right.
Because obviously, and I can't say this for most doctors, PAs, NPs, I can't say this for most of them, but I can say this for me. I'm pretty freaking healthy.
Yeah.
So
you don't get sick that often.
I don't get sick that often. So it's not like I'm going there and they're going to kill me with whatever they got. You know, hopefully my body's going to fight it off, or I'm going to wear a mask or whatever. But I should be able to function for the patients.
Right.
But if I'm sick, then I can get them sick, and they're already sick people. So that's not a good thing. So I should, in my head, instead of saying, oh, I have to go, I should be saying, no, I definitely should not go. It doesn't matter whether they have to cancel clinic for the whole day. It doesn't matter if they can get somebody to cover for me or not. It doesn't matter if I have to work a different day. I should just be saying, no, I can't go.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, the moral of the story is stay home when you're sick.
The moral of the story is, for all you anti-vaxxers out there, I totally agree with those memes out there that say you should just go live in China.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
You should go live in China, raise bats, see how much fun you have.
Yeah.
and just stay in a very, very small locale.
Enclosed area. With a lot of people of your same mentality.
Of your same idea, of your same ilk, your same plan, same belief that vaccines are evil and bad.
And don't take your poor children with you.
No, why punish them for your idiocy?
Yeah, exactly.
I can safely say that I really don't think that there are any listeners of Beaveman and the Doc that are anti-vaxxers. I don't. If they are,
they're probably in secret. They wouldn't tell you.
If they are anti-vaxxers and they're listening to me, I think that they must just listen to see if I'm going to piss them off today.
Right.
Which is okay too, as long as you're still listening.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't really know though. It's very possible. Things that annoy me that the Swan does. Let's see. I don't mind on the podcast. On the podcast, I don't mind at all because I actually encourage it. What do you think I'm talking about, Swan?
I'm thinking you're talking about when I interrupt.
When you interrupt?
Yes. Is that it?
That is it. That is probably the most annoying thing that you do.
I don't do it on purpose. I do it because that's where my brain thinks, and if I don't let it out then I'm going to forget about it. And I also probably have ADD and I get sidetracked. And then I don't remember what I was going to say. So I interrupt. And what I have to say is important, but you don't ever think it's important. Yeah, squirrel.
It's not that I don't think it's important.
So how do you interrupt without making an interruption? Because if I don't, then you may go on forever and I never get to tell my story.
And you could just see in your eyes that you want to speak. It's so obvious. And you like get antsy.
So you just keep talking because you know it bothers me. So see, that makes you more of an asshole than my interruption.
No, it doesn't make me an asshole. It's just funny. And because you just want to wait until you have that opportunity to say something. Because most of the time, when you say something, when you interrupt me, it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. It's very loosely related.
So
how is that more important than the topic of conversation and the points that people are bringing up? It's important in my mind. You could be sitting there talking. The other day, what were we talking about? We were talking about like what are these murders in Battle Creek, and you probably brought up like a Canon printer. And how is that related in any way?
That's not even any shape or form or how that works.
I heard that person had a printer.
No, you're dumb.
No, that's exactly what it's like.
Not.
It is too. Is exactly what it's like.
No, that is not even all that happens. And I can't even give you an example because I can't do it on command. I can't do it on command. I have to do it when it happens.
That is an example. That's an exact example. I could be talking about something like that, and you just all of a sudden be like, I saw a giraffe once. And you're like, what does that have to do with anything? Well, I'm pretty sure that person has also seen a giraffe. A giraffe is a very common animal. They have a long neck. Zoo. Yeah, that is the kind of string of thought that you would have. We could be talking about the Lacey Peterson murder with somebody else, and all of a sudden you'd be like, I saw a giraffe once. And you're like, what does that have to do with anything? You're like, well, I mean, Lacey's dad has kind of a long neck, so...
You're dumb.
You know.
That isn't even... No.
Giraffe.
Is that the word of the day?
Maybe.
You're dumb.
No, you're dumb.
You're dumb. Okay, what else is annoying?
Well, that's the biggie. That's the
why are we making it about annoying things I do?
All right, we're just talking about annoying things in general.
I think children are annoying. Especially other people's children. Like,
well, that's good that you clarified that.
Well, mine are annoying too, but I can handle them because I've got them trained.
Oh.
Ooh. Yeah.
I'll be sure to let the daughter know that at 23 minutes and 36 seconds.
She knows. She thinks children are annoying. She knows that you have her trained. She knows that children are annoying too.
Yeah, she brought that up the other day, actually.
Uh-huh. They are. They're just... That was funny when she said that, actually. She's like, that kid's crying for no reason. He's crying because his mom moved him from the right side of her to her left side. Probably to feed him easier, and he is now crying.
Please explain to me how you have the daughter trained. I would like to hear this. No, please. I want to hear how you have the daughter trained.
She's not that annoying.
No, I want to hear how you have her trained. That's what you said.
I have her trained. She doesn't cry for no reason. Well, wait a minute. Yes, she does cry for no reason. I mean, like when she was a kid, like if you're sitting at a restaurant and people just let their kids run all over and crawl under the tables and throw shit on the floor and they're annoying. Like we were at Panera one day with
This
the
podcast
daughter.
is not sponsored by Panera.
It is not.
However, Panera,
But that's where I was
if you would like
eating.
to sponsor us, please feel free to send some money our way
That sounds like a good plan. See,
In a
you're
bread bowl.
interrupting me.
in a bread bowl. This is a podcast.
Now I'm going to have
I'm
to
allowed
start my
do that.
story all over again.
Please do.
So,
Where
at
were you?
Panera, eating dinner with the daughter and her friend, and her friend's mom.
How old were they?
It was just this year.
Oh,
so
this year.
Teenagers.
So teenagers.
Yep.
Young teenagers.
So we are sitting there eating dinner, and I purposely got a booth in the corner because there was an entire restaurant full of, it must have been a mom's group or something, because it was a mom's group with children about the age of kindergarten or maybe first grade.
Or was this a mom's group?
It was a mom's group. Oh, I don't know. It could have been because it was moms and children.
I
Anyway.
think they were homeschooled.
They might have been.
Okay.
But no, because homeschooled are probably better behaved than these children.
Right.
So anyway, they were all sitting there in the corner. We went at the opposite side of the restaurant in a booth, sitting in the corner, eating, minding our own business. And then these little fucking brats are running around, crawling under the table, coming over, waving, jumping up and down and saying hi, like getting our attention to be annoying. I'm like, don't say anything to them, because if you feed into that, they're going to be more annoying. And I said it really loud so the parents would hear it. Letting them run around, and they're not saying shit to them. I'd be like, sit your ass down, you little brats. Like, don't let your kids act like that in a public place. It's not a jungle gym. It's a freaking restaurant. Okay, yeah, maybe it's not like fancy restaurant, but I still paid $40 for freaking 3 meals there, so that's just as expensive as going to a fancy restaurant. I don't want your kid running around under my table.
Why'd you kick him?
I should have.
You should just give him a good punting.
I gave them the stink eye, and they did go away.
Uh-huh.
But Summer's like, oh my god, those kids are so annoying.
Yeah, you're not supposed to say the daughter's name.
Oh, the daughter. The daughter. You can delete that.
No, I'm not going to go
no.
through and delete that out.
Anyway, she's like, why are those kids annoying? I'm like, I don't know, but I never let you act like that. I would take you out of the restaurant if you ever acted like that. So she didn't act like that. I mean, she even went to dinner with our other friends at about the same age, the ones that we just saw the other night, and their kids were crawling under the table and doing all that. And she's like, Mommy, why are they acting like that? Well, because you know it's not appropriate to act like that, don't act like that.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Well, our daughter never acted like that anyway. It's
I
not
know.
anything that you trained her on. She just never acted like that because she was always much more interested in what the adult had to say. I think it's because she was socially nosy.
Maybe. I don't know.
She
I guess
was very good at mimicry at a very young age. She acted like she was older than she was.
Yes, she did.
From a very tiny age.
Yes, she did.
The only time she ever acted up in a restaurant was when she was a baby, very rarely. But after that, once she could walk and really socialize, she never did any of that stuff.
Okay, so maybe that's a bad example, but she's trained not to do that. But
So,
did
once
we
again,
really
though,
train her?
You're saying that
Or-
you trained her.
Yeah,
You've got her trained.
I've got her trained.
I just want to clarify that you are saying that you've got the daughter trained.
I do.
Very well.
So put it in there. 2749. The daughter is
The
trained.
daughter is trained.
She fetches for me.
She also cries inappropriately.
She does cry inappropriately. It's cute though.
It's not cute. It could be a sign. It could be a sign that she's a sociopath. I don't know. I'm not a psychology nurse practitioner. I might have to look that up because I'm starting to get a little scared now. I mean, she does cry at appropriate situations that one could trigger as emotional and touching. But if she starts crying when she sees a movie and somebody's getting the shit beat out of them and run over by a car, well, I laugh at that too. But I guess if she cries at something like that, then, well, no, I guess that would be appropriate.
She cried over a hot dog.
Well, to be fair, I mean, I guess it was cute. I guess it was cute.
I mean, you can tell the story. You tell it better than I do.
I don't tell the story
She cried over
good.
a hot dog.
I don't tell the story good. I mean, here's the situation. We're sitting at a basketball game. My nephew's playing. I mean, sort of. He had to play a little bit. When he did play, it was quite good. And my brothers-in-laws are sitting in front of us. They're a little bit elderly because I'm not young. And he's older than I am. And I think they're in their 80s. One
Probably.
of them's in the 80s. The other one's in the 70s, I think. And he waddles off because he's slow and old. And for some reason that day, all the old people were trying to climb up and down bleachers, which I do not recommend, folks. If you're not spry, you should not be climbing up and down the bleachers. There's walkways.
And standing on the
there's
seated
walkways
part
for
of
a
it.
reason.
Why would you stand on the seat
Yeah, I
part
don't
of
know.
it?
There's walkways for a
okay,
reason.
but anyway.
Anyway, thankfully, at least he's not morbidly obese, and I didn't have to worry about him toppling. I figured I could catch him. Anyway, so he waddles off, comes back, got a little hot dog, sits down with his hot dog next to his wife. They're chummy and close. Hands the hot dog over to her so she can have the first bite. So she has the first bite. She's enjoying her hot dog. And then she hands it back to him, and he has some of the hot dog. And then I think he handed it back to her again, and she had some more of the hot dog. And then it went back to him, and he had some more of the hot dog. And then he saves the last bite for her and hands it back over to her. At which point in time, Summer's like, the daughter's like, oh my God, he saved the last bite for her. And she started crying.
Full on tears, crying.
Couldn't stop him.
She's like, oh, they're so cute. Just tears coming down. It was cute. Now, if that was me and you sharing a hot dog, number one, if you went and got a hot dog and you came back, you'd be like, dude, where's my hot dog? Or did you get that for me and then go get your own, or what?
No, that's not what would happen. If I went and got a hot dog for myself and came back and sat down with it, by the time I reached for the napkin that I had placed on my lap, the hot dog would have already been gone. You would have already eaten it.
Right. And
paper and all.
No. You act like I'm a freaking pig. Stop. Don't even give me that look. But no, I would have not. Why would you get one hot dog for the two of us? Like, I'd be like...
Oh, I don't know. Why would I get one hot dog for the two of us?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe so that you wouldn't eat a fucking hot dog.
So I would have gotten you your own hot dog.
Actually, clearly, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm gonna flip the switch here. I'm going to say that he's actually a dick.
Yeah, and you don't want her to eat a whole hot dog.
I'm going to say that he's like, you know what?
You don't need to eat all that hot dog.
You don't need a whole hot dog, fatty.
Yeah, you're a jerk.
That's what I think is actually going on. So
that's it.
This whole situation was misconstrued.
Yeah.
You see, it's
Let's
kind of
tell
like
the daughter about that one.
It's like the Peloton commercial.
Yeah.
This whole thing is, you could look at it in one of two ways.
I wish you were sponsored by Peloton. I want one of those.
Well,
anyway,
Peloton folks,
if you're thinking about having a new commercial, I will totally ride your bike.
We are rebranding. She'd totally ride your bike at least once a year.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely put some sort of clothing on top of it.
Probably. Anyway, so yeah, he's a dick.
I think the situation was misread. I think what actually happened was he wanted a hot dog. She wanted a hot dog. But he knew that bathing suit season was coming up and that she tends to overindulge. So in order to appease her, he did indeed get her a hot dog, but they were going to share it because he didn't want her to continue to pack on weight.
I see.
So he's not this loving, caring
I don't think
spouse.
that's the case at all.
Really, it was purely for selfish reasons, and he's tired of how much she eats.
No, I don't think so. However, I'd have gotten us both a hot dog.
And
I'd have ate my hot dog and then ate the rest
well.
of yours. Exactly. And I sure as hell wouldn't let you have that last bite.
No, because that's what the pain in the ass is. Here, you know what? Here's what you want to talk about, things that are annoying. When I order food, I order what I want. Okay? I don't order what I think you would want. I don't order... If you order what I want, you know what I'm going to order?
What you want?
The same thing that you ordered. So if I want what you ordered, that's what I'm going to order. Now, I don't do what you do. What you do is this. You order whatever you want, and whatever I order, if you decide you want that too, you're going to eat that too.
I would share with you.
No, listen. And then what you proceed to do is this. Then what you do is when your food comes, you ask me if I want some of your food, to which I respond, no. If I wanted that, I would have ordered that. Because I know that you don't really want me to want your food. Because you know I won't in the first place.
Right, and I probably intentionally order stuff that you don't like.
The only reason that you're asking me if I want some of your food is because you know in your own mind that you want my food. That's why you do it.
I don't see a problem with that.
and you think that you're clever, but you're not clever because you've done it forever, and I know exactly what you're doing.
Well, then you should just be used to it. You should just say, here.
But I don't want your goddamn food, so you know I don't want your goddamn food, so don't ask me if I want a bite of your fucking food, because I don't want your fucking food. So you just want me to skip that step and just say, can I have a bite of yours?
Well,
you would think after all these years, after 19 fucking years, that you would know by now that I know exactly what the fuck you're doing.
So you just want me from now, I'll skip that step and I'll just be like, can I have a bite of yours?
Yes!
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, because I don't want your fucking food.
Verified.
I don't want your fucking food.
All right. Well, now that we've gotten that clarified.
You know what you should do?
What?
You should just decide what the fuck you want and do what we used to do a long time ago and just order one thing and split it.
Okay. Maybe that'll be a good suggestion.
This is a good suggestion because you know what I've found, and it's true, and I don't know where I read this or who I heard it from or whatever, but the more you chew your food, bite by bite, the faster you will get full. Which makes sense because the longer you chew your food, the more digestive enzymes you have to kick out.
Right.
Which would make you get fuller faster. It would increase your satiety. You'd be satiated faster. However, people that wolf their food down tend to be hungry and continue to eat.
Moving on to a new topic of people or things or whatever that are annoying. What else you got?
People who eat their food way too fucking fast.
Hey, no, wait, I said new topic. No more food topics. No more chewing topics.
Why? Are you getting hungry?
I am hungry. I am hungry.
You can't talk about food because you're getting hungry?
Yeah. No.
I think that makes sense.
It does make sense. Anyway. If I was going to want something right now, it's something I can't even have. I want frozen yogurt.
Why would anybody want frozen yogurt?
I don't know. It just sounds good.
It does not. What sounds good about frozen yogurt? It's
the
not ice
toppings
cream.
that go into it.
Yeah, that's not the frozen yogurt. Just have the toppings.
But the yogurt's good. Okay, or custard or whatever. Something.
See, none of that sounds good to me. As I get older, none of that sounds good to me. I like popcorn. That doesn't sound good to me. None of that stuff sounds good.
Well, I'll get you your Ensure and you'll be okay, old man.
No, I don't want that either. That's all milk-based products, and that's how all those people get these. I've seen this trend over the years. I can tell if somebody drinks milk on a clinical
exam. Because they have the gurgly stomach.
Not that, no.
What? How?
Especially if they drink milk and they smoke. They all have hairy fucking tongues.
Ew.
They all like have yeasty, coated, yeasty, with tar on top of it tongues.
That's gross.
And all the time I'm like, you drink a lot of milk, don't you? And they're like, yeah, how'd you know that? I'm like, because your fucking tongue is
furry.
Furry and nasty and gross. Yeah. I have to, it's almost like, and I'm sure this is not a new thing. I'm sure it's been around forever, but I treat a lot of people for that. Then I'm like, okay, basically I'm going to treat you like a baby and put you on some nystatin for your thrushy mouth. Because it's gross.
That is gross. And yeah, you think about it, babies' tongues are like that.
Yeah.
A lot of yuck.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't drink milk.
Yeah, and then they smoke and they get the nice little tar sheen on top of it.
Yeah, that's gross.
So that's even better. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty
and add some coffee into that.
Sure.
Coffee and cigarettes. What
coffee,
a great
milk
combo.
tongue.
That's annoying. Bad breath. That's an annoying thing.
Well, coffee's bad breath.
Yeah, but that's more acceptable than coffee and cigarette. That smells like open asshole.
No, open asshole smells way better than that.
That's disgusting.
Oh, it's true. It's true. Coffee and cigarettes together is not a good combo.
No.
Coffee by itself is pretty bad.
It is. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I try not to breathe on people if I've had coffee, or I apologize. And I'm like, I've had coffee.
Or brush your teeth or have a mint or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, it doesn't really, doesn't go away. Yeah, it's one of those sad factoids. I really wish I could stop drinking coffee, honestly, though.
I don't think I could do it.
Well, it's my fault that you drink coffee in the first place.
It is your fault. I didn't drink coffee my entire life until I was pregnant. Great time to start drinking coffee, huh? I didn't drink it when I was pregnant. I tasted it and decided I liked it, and then I didn't drink it until after I had the child.
I actually didn't drink coffee the entire time I was in the Army, which most people would think that's when I started.
Yeah.
No, I didn't start until I worked in the emergency room, and I only occasionally drank it. And then actually I blame one of the ER doctors for why I drank coffee, because he loved coffee. And so he would talk to me about coffee because, I tried to stay awake because I would work night shift. And I didn't know I had this really major sleep disorder that I have. So I would, of course, be tired all the time. And so I was like, well, maybe I should start drinking coffee like everybody else does. And so I started drinking coffee. And he saw me drinking coffee one time. He's like, Beaveman, why do you put all that shit in your coffee? I'm like,
to make it taste good?
I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, to make it taste good. He's like, yeah, but you're not
tasting the
You're
coffee.
not tasting the coffee. You're tasting creamer and sugar and all this other stuff. He's like, to enjoy coffee, you actually have to taste the coffee. I'm like, all right. So he would bring in like coffee beans, chocolate covered coffee beans.
Those are
and he'd give me those, and he's like, here, taste this. And then I started drinking black coffee because of him and all this other stuff. So I blame him. He's right, because when you start adding all that other crap in, you're really not tasting the coffee. So, which gets bad, because as you start to have coffee from other places, you're like, this coffee doesn't taste like shit. It doesn't taste like anything. It don't taste coffee at all.
Yeah.
So
I do like my coffee black now, which I never thought I would like that, but you're right. After you give up all the sugary, foo-foo flavored creamer, it does taste better.
Yeah.
And then you go have it, and you're like, ooh, that's sickeningly sweet.
Yeah, I mean, that coffee we had yesterday might not have been really sweet. It might actually not have been. I feel like it was.
Oh, it was really sweet. It was super sweet. It made my tongue sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's what I say. I think I would like to stop drinking coffee, though. I think I could do it.
I mean, I don't necessarily...
If I always had good water, I could do it.
Yeah. I don't necessarily need the coffee. It's not like I get angry when I don't have it, or I get a coffee headache or anything, and I can go days without making it and not having it.
No, but like on a cold day, like a cold winter day, it's nice to have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Or if I get really hungry, if I have a cup of coffee, that keeps me from being super hungry. Like if I don't have time to eat or make something.
I don't like tea, but would tea do the same thing? Or no?
I feel like it would, and I do like tea.
Yeah.
But so I might have to switch to tea.
Maybe that you should do that. But I can't choke down tea. It tastes like dirty water.
I like tea, but the problem with tea is it always tastes sweet to me. I've never had a tea that doesn't taste sweet. So, I mean, I think that's the thing with coffee, is there's this bitterness aspect to it that people, that's what they like.
So we'll have to Google what bitter tea.
Yeah, shit tasting tea.
Yeah,
I would like some tea that tastes like shit.
Well, maybe it's like...
No, I want to try this stuff called mud.
Tea or something.
I want to try this stuff called mud. Have you seen the Facebook advertisements for mud?
No.
It's supposed to make you not tired and not jittery like coffee. It's supposed to be all these natural ingredients. So if there's any mud people out there that listen to the Beaveman and the Doc, please feel free to send me a sample of mud, because I really want to try it. I think I'm just going to order it, but it's one of those subscription things.
You
can't. Yeah, I know.
Why can't you just have
that's
one?
Things that are annoying. Right?
That is things that are annoying.
Things that are annoying. You can't just. Can I just order one?
No.
Can I please just order one?
And then if you cancel your subscription, you owe money, or it's more expensive. And no.
Like, I think that's one of those things that makes people not want to do it.
I agree.
I'm like, if I want to try something, can I please just try it? Please, can I please just try it? And if I like it, I'll order it again. And maybe, especially for a lot of that stuff, like, and I don't want to malign Beachbody at all, because I love Beachbody. I love Sean T. Sean T, I hope you listen, but I've never seen a listener from Phoenix, Arizona. No, I have, but I don't think it's you. If it is, that's awesome.
Yeah, I love Sean T.
Please help me get rid of my flanks. For example, this is not a bust on Sean T, obviously, but Beachbody. Their shake, what's it called? The
Shakeology?
Shakeology, right? Good shake, I like it.
Yeah, but you got to
But you can't buy
club.
it.
Yeah.
I can't just buy it. I can't go online and buy Shakeology.
No, you got to do a subscription. And you know what also I hate? Now you can't even buy DVDs anymore. Like, you have to be part of their subscription virtual streaming thing to get their DVDs. Or
Yeah,
not
that shit
DVDs.
doesn't stream fast.
No,
It's so much more convenient to use the DVD.
Yeah. And you can take it with you when you travel and all that stuff. I want that.
But yeah, like, okay, so the Shakeology.
Yeah.
I don't need a bag every month. I could go 2 months with one bag, because I don't drink it. I wouldn't drink
As a
it
meal
every day.
replacement
I wouldn't
every
drink it as a
single
meal
day.
replacement
Yeah.
every day.
You just want it when you want it.
Right.
Yeah.
So why would I want to have a subscription where it comes to me every month and I'm like, oh, I got to pay for this every month. Every month this is going to come out of my checking account. I don't want that, and I don't want to join to have that. Or if you know somebody who's a member, I guess you could hit them up and say, hey, can you get
order
me
extra?
Can you order an extra bag? But I don't know anybody like that. And then what's the next thing they're going to do anyway? They're told to probably try to get you to be a subscriber so that they can get points for you or what.
And they get their stuff for free or discount or whatever. Yeah.
And I totally understand what they're doing, but I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to fucking do that. I just want to buy a bag.
I would buy more if I could buy it separately.
That's how it is with all that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I want to try mud, but I don't want to do a subscription.
But tons of people do that stuff, and then
But then
this is another annoying
money.
thing. Right? Exactly. That's just what I was getting at. And like all those like makeup, what Ipsy or one of those things. I don't know. It's like a makeup kit every month, and you get new whatever. There's tons of people at my work who have that, and they come in and like, look what I got my whatever. They look forward to getting their bag of stuff in the mail every month. But you're spending money on that, really? And what the fuck do you need an eyeliner every month for? Or
no idea.
I mean,
Horan?
I don't know. Maybe.
Is it for a Warren?
It might be. Or like even like the pet subscription every month. Like
Pet subscription?
yeah, it's like Bark Box or something like that, and you every month something comes for your pet. Like, but it's one of those, a subscription thing. Like, really, does your pet need that every month? I don't know.
I wouldn't know what to do with that stuff.
Right.
I mean, I have, just for my professional membership, right, I get a magazine every month. I'm like 12 months behind. I haven't even read the magazines, and I only get one a month.
Yeah.
I had to cancel my subscriptions to Wired, which is not an expensive subscription, and it's a great magazine. I had to cancel my subscription because I can't read them all. I never have time to read them, even though I want to. Or Scientific American, never had time to read all those. I had to sit down. I would actually designate a day when I was traveling. And I would take all those with me. I'm like, I'm just going to read these fucking magazines. Because I'm looking for content for the podcast.
Right.
And really, the best magazine for content was none of those. I mean, they were great articles. And every once in a while, I would get a really good article from there. Like the Prion episode we did, I got from, I think, Wired, which was odd because it's not a medical magazine. We'd think I would have got it from Scientific American, but I didn't. But the one that's the best one is the one that my sister-in-law gave me from the Crazy Catholic or the Crazy Christian magazine. That one's really hilarious.
Yeah, but you're making fun of it. You're not taking...
Well, yeah, I'm making fun of it, but it's still great material
Good
to make
content.
fun of. I would call it. I would definitely not call it science. I would definitely not call it science at all. But I would have a stack of magazines.
I don't think it's
that I have
supposed to be
read.
science. It's religion.
Well, no, they like to tell you how that all ties in together. How science is really just how their idea of science is a reflection of creation, I guess. I don't know. They're all fucking quacks. Speaking of quacks, though, did you happen to notice that same... I don't think I showed you that article, but in those magazines, they kind of advertise their amusement park, if you will. I guess it's an amusement park, but they basically built an ark.
Oh, I have a lot of people who have told me all about that. And my uncle has gone there. Yeah.
I was going to tell you that the reason why I was telling you this story is because my niece and nephew have pictures of them there.
It is ridiculous. It is a complete freaking racket.
Of course it is. It's just a money-making Of course it is. Just like his magazine. It's just like, I'm like, who gets the magazine? Well, every
Bible thumper?
Well, sure. Yeah, well, even if the congregation, I don't even know if that's what they call themselves, even if the congregation isn't subscribing to it, the church is.
Right.
So all these churches throughout the nation, and I'm sure throughout the world, are ordering that magazine.
Yeah.
And doing those trips and, trips to the Holy Land and trips to the Ark or wherever. I'm like, that's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous, people. Give me, you know what? Give me your money. Why is it that everybody looks down on, well, I mean, I know why I look down on cult leaders, but why are you looking at cult leaders and saying that they're egomaniacal, crazy folks who just want your money when you're doing the same thing to organize religion?
Yeah, it is the same thing. Religion is a cult. We've already had this discussion.
But I don't understand why you just give them your money. Why just give them your money?
I don't know. Do you remember those, how it used to be like church on the TV on Sundays?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And
I used to try to convince my parents that if we could stay home,
You would watch
that I
that?
would go ahead and just watch that.
Yeah, right.
Because I didn't want to get up on Sunday to go to church.
And I mean, and didn't one of those guys, wasn't it a big scam?
They all are.
But I mean, like
which one? Which time?
The Crystal Palace or the whatever.
Oh, yeah, where the guy...
My grandpa used to, he's dead now, but used to spend...
Now he's dead.
And now he's dead.
Now he's dead.
He used to spend hours watching that, and he like sent money to that, and it was I don't where was that at? I don't know. It was somewhere. But and then they took a trip. Him and my aunt, who's also a Bible toting cuckoo, took a trip to go there, and it wasn't nearly what they pictured it to be.
Like they're just fucking everywhere.
No,
Dude, that would have been awesome. We're like
no,
everybody's
but
like
they
out there
told it
all
like it's
holy
this
and
big
shit,
thing.
and
I'm
there's,
like,
fucking
I bet you
everywhere.
it's like a Lego thing that they just put in the background and make it look like it's this gorgeous palace, and it's not even real. It's like a dollhouse, and it's.
That'd be hilarious.
I mean, and I sold this to my grandpa. I was like, maybe you're just sending it to some dude who's like doing this from his house with a dollhouse, and he's making it sound like you're sending this money to this big great thing. And he's like, it's real. And I'm like, how do you know? So, I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Like, but it's a cult.
I mean, I fully believe that if you're gonna send money to these religions, then just send it to the big ones. You know what? Just fill the Pope's coffers. Fill the coffers of the Orthodox Church. Fill the coffers of, the Muslim temples.
I don't
The
even know what
Jewish
that word
mosques,
means.
all that stuff, because their treasure chest.
Fill
their treasure
got
chests.
It. Yes, I got it.
Because at least, you know what? At least you're gonna fill the major ones. Stop filling all these piddly ones, because all you're doing is making some asshole rich. That's all you're doing. Who's selling a line of bullshit to your 82-year-old grandmother?
Right.
Which, if you're by that, and admittedly, okay, if you're 82 years old. Just say you're elderly. Because not even, well, now you could live forever. I think statistically, if you make it to 80, you got a good chance of living another 10 or 20 years. Uh-huh. So shoot for 80, people. Of course, once the super flu comes, you're all fucked. But if you're that old, do whatever the fuck you want with your money anyway. I don't care.
Yeah, but I don't think that they should be taken advantage
Right, but they
of.
should not be being robbed blind by these fucktards.
Right.
Exactly. So if you want to do something good with your money, give it locally to charities, give it to the poor, give it to whatever. Make sure your money is being spent the way it should be spent. Don't give it to somebody who's going to go buy a fucking Ferrari Testarossa or Lamborghini or whatever the fuck it's called and a nice house just because he's going to rob you fucking blind while he's, banging Mary Jane Rottencrotch in the back of his Cadillac when his wife is, shaking hands with parishioners.
Right. You have a vivid imagination for dumb shit.
Oh, what do you mean?
Whatever.
I'm just saying that's what I would do.
Right.
I don't
As a
know that
cult
I would
leader?
bang Mary Jane Rottencrotch. You don't know what Mary Jane Rottencrotch is from?
No.
Haven't you seen Full Metal Jacket?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't remember that from that, though. But, okay.
Well, there's certain key phrases and certain names and certain terms that you always kind of resurrect throughout the years in the military, and Mary Jane Rottencrotch is one of them.
Didn't know.
I think he said something like, "While you're finger banging Mary Jane Rottencrotch."
You're dumb.
What?
You're dumb. Okay. So
Up to the knuckles.
Okay. All right.
Back me up, listeners of Beaveman and the Doc who are in the military and or enjoyed Full Metal Jacket. I'm pretty sure that it's from Full Metal Jacket.
I don't know the answer.
I'd have to do a word search really quick to confirm
it's
that.
okay.
I'm pretty
We
sure
don't
that I'm
need
okay.
to know.
Pretty
Well,
sure
we
that
got
I'm
this.
right.
I believe you.
Folks in Mountain View, California, back me up on this. Mary Jane Rottencrotch,
Yeah. Okay.
Full Metal Jacket.
Maybe. To be continued.
Arlie Ermy.
So, what else annoys you?
What does annoy me? How about the accumulation of shit?
Yeah. I can't really talk on that one.
You can't talk about the accumulation of crap?
You're meaning physical items.
Physical
like
items.
how we have way too much
No,
of
I didn't mean
everything.
that. I'm tired of you accumulating little piles of shit all over the house. It's a little pile of shit over here, a little turd
Not
over
shit,
there.
shit. Just
A perfectly
collection
round
of
ball
things.
of shit.
Yeah. I think as a whole, we are a disposable society.
which is very scary.
Very sad, and but everybody has.
frightening.
It is. And everybody has too much shit. We have too many choices, and that's why we have too much shit. Like, there's an entire aisle of toothpaste. How many different brands, styles, flavors of toothpaste do we need?
Well, here's what freaks me out, so I try not to think about it all the time. Aside from all the little piddly shit, if you were to think about this particular subject frequently, I think that you would go insane.
Probably.
Think about how many cars we make.
Right. Uh-huh.
On a daily basis.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't make any cars.
Every day.
But, yes.
Every day that the car companies are open.
Uh-huh.
Multiply that by how many car companies we have. Isn't the whole planet going to be freaking just filled with cars and trucks?
Probably.
And every car and truck that was ever made, from the time that it was made,
even when it's scrunched up into a cube, is
still
here.
there. It's still here, unless it was completely, totally recycled, which 100% of it can't be recycled. It's still here.
Yep.
If you thought about that constantly, every day, you would probably go insane, because that would cascade into other thought processes like, so every plastic item or every plastic cup that I ever used still exists. Every styrofoam cup I ever used still exists. From the styrofoam, from the triple wrapped and then encased in styrofoam Big Mac I had when I was 7 years old.
Yeah. Yep.
That styrofoam container is still out there.
Mm-hmm.
When they made the McLean that was 2 sections, like the width of a pancake box, still out there.
I don't think I ever had one of those.
They were actually pretty tasty. You know, that the idea was you had the cold on one side, you know, the cold ingredients on one side, and then you had the hot ingredients on the other side.
Yeah.
And then they separated it, and they handed it to you in this little sectioned styrofoam container, and then you take it apart when you're ready to eat it, and then you put it together.
Nope, never had one of those. My parents were cheap. We didn't get to eat anything off of the not dollar menu.
Well, I was fat, and so it was a big...
Yeah, but
It's a big treat for me to ask for something like that.
They didn't let us. We got to pick off the dollar menu. We didn't get to pick off.
If I had got to pick off the, if I would have been smart,
you'd have picked 5 things
I
off the
actually
dollar
would
menu.
have used the dollar menu. But I was foolish and I did not realize the economics and the brilliance of just using the dollar menu. Because if you would have, I mean the Big Mac meal, or we always ate at Burger King. Actually, we didn't eat at McDonald's. So if I'd have getting a junior Whopper with fries and a Coke, probably back then it was probably like 2 something or 3 something. Mm-hmm. I could have got like 3 cheeseburgers.
Yeah, and it wasn't even the dollar
They probably
menu.
didn't have a
like
dollar
the
menu back in
59
the
cent
day.
menu.
Yeah, actually,
something like
it was
that.
59 cents. Actually, when I was a kid and when I was a teenager, they had Hot and Now.
Oh, I liked that restaurant.
And the other one, what was the other one? Burger Express. Hot and
know,
Now
we
and
didn't have
Burgers.
that
There was
one.
2 different ones that were 59 cents for a cheeseburger and like 49 cents for a hamburger. So yeah, it was pretty killer. I'd get like 5 of those. I wasn't fat then, but I was just fueling up on burgers, man. I put like $10 in my gas tank, have change, get like 3 burgers. It was the shit.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, when $10 worth of gas got me more than 10 gallons of gas.
Yeah, those were the days. Now you get like not even 2 gallons of gas. Well, a little over.
It
2.
depends. I mean, it depends. I like what some people have to shit in. Depends.
You're gross.
Oh, you're gross.
You're gross. Do you know what annoys me? When people don't clean the snow off their car.
Why does that annoy you? What is
Because
that?
it comes flying at your car.
Some people don't even have snow.
Well, we do right now, and I just had that happen on
You know
my
who probably
way
doesn't
home.
have snow?
Mountain View, California. Shout out to Mountain View, California. No snow there. Well, do you think they have
I don't
snow?
know.
Because
I don't
they
know where
might be in the
They might
mountains.
be higher. They might be at a higher elevation. Hence the name Mountain View.
Exactly where I was going with that.
Unless they're just looking at a mountain.
Right.
I don't know. But we'd like to know Mountain View.
Hey, you haven't told us that we were rebranding recently, so do you want to?
I did say that.
You did in the beginning, but usually you say it like a million times. So
Well, it's very important for people to know that we are indeed rebranding.
right. Very soon.
Very soon. As soon as the Rons builds the website, Here's the issue. I have a sleep disorder. So on the days that I don't work, I'm very lazy and I don't do a whole hell of a lot. I have to give myself a list of things to do. Every day that I'm off, there is something that I must do. I always have to work out. I have to do that. So that's on my list. And I always have to read medical shit. So that's always on my list. Those two things are always, that's set. I always have to do that. But the other thing that I have to do is work on the podcast, whether that's come up with a topic or whatever it happens to be. So I do that also. But because I don't know anything about building websites, and the Ron's is supposed to be this computer, I don't know, guru. I've told him to do that, and so I'm just kind of waiting on what he's done. Now, update on that is he texted me last night and asked me what site to use. And shout out to Squarespace. If you'd like to sponsor our next podcast where we rebrand, please get in contact with me, and we'd be more than happy to. Unless, of course, your site sucks. Unless it's really hard to build a website, in which case, we don't have anything to do.
I don't know. The daughter said that she can build one.
Oh, well then,
Because, did you ever see that? It shows up on one of our, I don't remember which TV app we have that we're watching it on, but it shows up the Wix.com app. She's like, and this guy's building he's like, it looks so easy. It makes it so easy to build. And so she's like, I did that in 5th grade.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so
she might
the
be
daughter
lying, though. She's also a pathological.
She is a pathological liar, but I do kind of believe that she knows how to do that.
Well, I'm sure I could do it also. The problem is when I go to do stuff like that, because it's not something that I'm truly, really interested in. Not that I have ADD, but I get sidetracked. See, well, no, I think that there's always important stuff that I need to do.
Right.
I always feel like, well, I need to be learning something. I need to be learning something else, because as I get older, I feel like I'm just forgetting stuff over and over and over again. And which is kind of nice with, it's not nice, but with the job that I'm doing now is far more, because I've been traveling a lot of times what I do is I swoop in, I take care of a group of patients, I see them for like 3 months, I get them tuned up or smoothed out right where they're at, or I sustain them where they are, and then I'm out of there. Well, I'm not doing that now because I got a permanent job, so now what I do is I can't swoop in and swoop out like Superman. I got to swoop in, try to get to know them, try to figure out where everybody's at, and actually understand what's really going on with them, and look at everything long term and say, I'm going to take care of these people for not 3 months, but maybe I'm going to take care of them for 5, 10, 15 years or longer until I retire or something.
The Grim Reaper comes?
The Grim Reaper comes, because that's just a natural part of life. Death is a part of life. And so I'm refreshing myself on all the chronic conditions instead of the stuff that I would see normally. I'm seeing stuff that's, way worse when you go from family practice, which is what I usually do, to what was represented as family practice, but it's really more like internal medicine. I have to read all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember all that stuff. It's all coming back to me, but it's all refresh. It's all so I kind of feel like I should be reading all the time, which is fine. I like to do that. But when you have a sleep disorder, you start reading and you're like, fall asleep.
Right.
But the point is this: you utilize your available resources. Why would I build the website
when you have somebody who does that as their job? Exactly.
Well, or who knows how to do it?
Right.
And Ron's is more enthusiastic about that thing anyway, sort of thing.
That's his passion, what he likes to do.
So and I'm sure he'd be great at it. So why would I do it and fuck it up when I can let Ron do it and hopefully not fuck it up?
Right.
Exactly. Makes a lot of sense to me. These are these facts. These are these important things that you learn in the military that you fucktards don't understand. Is this
work smarter, not harder? Is that it?
Yeah. Well, utilize your available resources, people, equipment, etc. Available resources are generally people. Why try to go build a bridge when I know an engineer?
Yeah. Okay.
Why cut the concertina wire, the triple strand concertina wire, to breach the obstacle when this engineer's got a MICLIC? Or not a MICLIC, got a Bangalore torpedo.
Nobody
why
knows
do it
what
when
the
this
fuck you're
tank has a
talking
MICLIC, can shoot a MICLIC? Why would I do that when I can just do this? Why cut the concertina wire when I've got a private with an MRE box that I can throw on top of it and I can run across him?
Poor private.
Everybody's had to do it at one
Not
point
me.
or other. It's really a lot of fun.
So-
If you're the one running across the if you're the one running across the private.
Not for the private. No,
Well, not
no.
so much. I mean, that's why you give them an MRE box so that they don't get cut up by the wire.
Like, you better hope this box stays good.
Well, you open the box up till it's like the
I
length of their
know.
body, and then you go up to it and you throw them on top of it, and then everybody runs across them.
Sounds very fair
Well, it is.
for everybody else.
Well, then after you've assaulted the target, then you go back and you pull that person off the wire.
Nice.
It's a rite of passage. Actually, people look forward to doing it for the first time. I've had to do it, and I wasn't a private when I did it. I just did it. I'm like,
There you
I'm
go.
not a
I
private.
volunteer for
Like,
this.
I'm not a private anymore. Somebody's got to do it. You know, as long as one of the big things that people usually do, and it's one of those things that you teach them right away, is like cover your nuts when that happens also, so that nobody stomps your nuts as they run by.
Good to know.
It
Good,
is
yeah.
very important to know.
So they stay face up.
It depends.
Because I'm
It
pretty sure
depends on
I'd rather be
technique.
face down.
Well, it depends on technique, because if you put it on your back and you jump backwards on top of it, then some people feel like that's a better technique. Some people feel it's better to go front face, because if you go front face, then there's a good chance you could catch your face on the concertina. If you don't, then you go rearward and you just lay across it. So it depends on the person, technique-wise.
Or how much they like their face.
Right. I don't know. I don't remember how I did it. I feel like I didn't really have to do it that badly. It wasn't that bad when I did it. It doesn't stick in my mind as anything that was traumatic or at all. I'm telling you, it's one of those where people just think it's fun to do.
Okay.
I mean, the bad thing is, honestly, the thing that you worry about the most is not whether you get cut up or not. It's whether or not you cut up your uniform. Because
Yeah,
if you
that'd be bad.
if you get snagged on the concertina, it's gonna rip your uniform, and you don't like. That's not cool.
No.
And you're like, fuck, now I got to get that sewn, or I ruined a pair, and they're expensive. So nobody likes to have to pay for a new dress uniform, or a new field uniform. It's not good. It's all bad.
It's all bad.
It's all bad. It's all bad.
That's your beer money right there.
I would not know. I did not consume large quantities of beer. That would have been my rum money.
Whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've talked about what annoys the Swan. I've talked about what the Swan does that annoys me.
That's annoying right there.
And
And that's annoying.
that's annoying. My laugh is annoying.
It is.
Why
no,
is my...
because you giggle at yourself. That's,
I amuse myself. What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
I don't
It's
do
funny.
this.
No.
When you start laughing, you go,
Oh.
and then you laugh.
Does that annoy you?
I'm just saying that's what you do.
Okay.
We'll
Anyway.
be beginning into an argument after this podcast, if anybody wants to stick around.
Yay.
Yay. No, I'm just kidding. We're not
No.
arguing. All right, well, that's it for me. Once again, I would like to say that we will be rebranding, and I'm hoping that maybe we've just got one more podcast after this one. That would be great. And then
be fun.
we'll launch the new podcast, the website, the new intro music, and it's going to be exciting. I'm really excited about it.
I'm pretty excited to do a group podcast with people other than the Beaveman. So
What
maybe
what
like
the fuck? What
What?
was that? What do you mean? What's that about?
we already discussed this. We were gonna do one without the Beaveman.
What do you mean you've discussed that you're going to do one without the Beaveman?
Yeah.
Why don't you elaborate now? What are you talking about?
We're gonna have the other guests like the Rons or the Tremonde and do a podcast without the Beaveman.
Who said? When
So-
was this decided?
Oh, it's called Anarchy.
Who
We're gonna do it
said?
without you, so that we can talk about you.
Who said that? Who said this?
Tremonde and I were talking about it, and you were involved in the conversation. You just
What I
must not have
said
been paying
was,
attention.
this is what I said. What I said was, the point of the new podcast is to be all inclusive. There will
We
be
weren't
times.
gonna
There might be
exclude
times.
you.
There might be times when I'm not on the podcast.
Correct.
But the staple of the podcast is always going to be me.
I see.
Yeah, you see. No. Yeah, because there's gonna be times when I'm not available,
Right.
or like I said, because it's a new idea for the podcast. Where if you and Tremonde wanted to do a podcast, or you and the Ron wanted to do a podcast, or you and Ron and Tremonde, or whoever wants to do a podcast, can do one.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I said. Don't try to make
Why
it like
did you make it sound like a bad thing when I said it?
Because you said it. It has to sound like my idea. Have you not been listening to the podcast?
Oh, it was your idea.
I know it was my idea.
It was your idea.
It was my idea.
No,
All
it
right.
sounds cool because it was your idea.
Well, that's true. Now you understand how this works. All right, well, that's it for me, the Beaveman, saying adios, mooch fuckos. Say goodbye, Swan.
Goodbye,
Jesus.
Swan.
Pika pika.